Welcome to Meet the Candidates. Frankfort Plant Board has given us a chance to come in here to the studios and have the candidates come in, sit down, talk with us, let us know a little bit more about who they are, why they're running, what they think about some of the things going on here in our community. And I do want to alert you to stay tuned for information about the candidate forum on April 26th down at the hotel. Participate if you can, submit questions if you have any, and please make every effort to join us for our live coverage of the election returns on May the 22nd. We'll be coming to you from the county clerk's office, and we'll bring those numbers to you just as soon as they're available. And in order to make sure that you are able to cast your vote with as much information behind it as possible, we've asked you to come in here and get a chance to meet our candidates. And the candidate for this edition is Rami Kalla. And of course, I would like for you to tell our viewers who you are and your function within the community and why you have decided you're willing to tackle responsibility of this nature.
Well, my name is Rami Kalla. I was, born in Lexington, and we moved to Frankfort when I was 1. So we've lived in a few houses here in Frankfort, and I've been living in Spring Hill for the last 42 years, and that's in my district. And I've got to know many of my neighbors.
Well, I should have said you're running for fiscal court from District 2.
That's correct.
And that does encompass that area of the east side.
Yes, and I've been there 42 years and watched it grow as I've grown. I graduated from Franklin County High School, of course went to Hearn and Elkhorn Middle. I went to the University of Kentucky to obtain my bachelor's in sociology. And while obtaining my college degree, I knew I was going to go into law enforcement. So I became a 911 dispatcher and for the University of Kentucky. While going to college, I was working full time. And after graduating, I became a policeman at the university, obtained my degree from UK, and went to the training facility in Richmond at EKU, and also took the police training as more college hours. So I was extending my education there also. And then I came back to UK and worked, started my master's degree in social work, decided that became too much because my job was too much. So in 2000, I left University of Kentucky and went to Woodford County Police in Versailles. The reason I didn't come to Frankfort is because my ex-wife was working in Frankfort and they had nepotism. So I was never really allowed to work because she was a police officer as well. So that's why my term never ended up in Frankfort. But while a Woodford County policeman, I got to experience a different kind of government versus the university government. So a few years after being a Woodford County police officer, the county and city merged. So I became a Versailles police officer that did the whole county. So I got to go through a merger and experienced a different side once we merged and became the city police doing countywide jurisdiction. So I ended up retiring from Versailles Police successfully in February of 2013. So after being a public servant for so long and dealing with complaints and issues and mostly criminal, but a lot of civil. And I met a lot of people and had a lot of resources under my belt and knew how to push people in the right direction to figure out their problem and help them. So that's why I feel like I've decided to continue doing that and helping people any way I could.
What do you see as being the primary issues that are facing Franklin County at this time? Do you have any feel for what you need to be focusing on and how you might approach a resolution to some of those?
Like Franklin County as a whole or just in my district?
Both.
Okay.
We want to make sure that you specify District 2, but you also will be responsible for decisions made on countywide
as a team,
issues.
that's
yes.
correct. the most disappointing thing that I see are our small business owners going under. And that's really upsetting to me. So, an example, I found out that that Sears over across from Juniper Hills, they're closing their store. And of course, we had it on the east side. My mom worked there forever. And then Pick Pack, that was a big one. It hit the media, and the community stepped up, and now they're staying open. And that's wonderful. And that's what we need to do as a whole, is to make sure that these small business owners can stay afloat. And I'd like the community needs to we need to take care of our own, basically, as a community. And I think that's a problem.
What do you see as being the issues that would cause them to go under, or what should our response be to see that that doesn't happen?
Well, I see a lot of people going to Lexington and Louisville for things when they could get it here. And if we can't get it here, we need to bring it here. And that would open up a lot of extra tax base, more jobs, to help the community as a whole, and in turn, it's going to save us time, gas, from going elsewhere to get what we were looking for. It's not good to have empty buildings, whether it's residential or commercial, it's not good.
What can we do to get them to come fill those buildings?
We need to get together as a community and come up with these ideas. We've got a lot of business people that are here in Frankfort, and we need to really get together and support our own. And I am a small business owner. Well, I didn't say that, but while I was a police officer in Woodford County in 2004, I have a partner, and it took us 9 months to work on being licensed through the state. I have a limousine business here in Frankfort. So it is hard, it's tough, because we have bigger companies elsewhere that come into Frankfort. So I've experienced that on my end. So we have to kind of somehow support one another in order we're the capital of Kentucky, and look how many people come into Frankfort every day. And if we can come up with ideas and help each other, then everybody will thrive from that.
Are there steps you think the fiscal court could take to improve that situation, apply pressure in various ways, or set up more communication with people?
Well, in my neighborhood, the communication's interesting. I mean, everybody does social networking now, some form or fashion. And in my neighborhood, we have actually 2 ways of communicating in our neighborhood by smartphones or internet. And that's the Nextdoor app. We don't have, per se, a neighborhood watch established, but I've been there for 42 years, and everybody knew I was a policeman, so I pretty much watch over everybody, and everybody knows that because they're used to seeing my police car there. And so we communicate on our Nextdoor app, and we have a Facebook page. And we talk about yard sales, or if somebody sees a suspicious car like we just had the other day, then they just alert everybody. And that's a good form of communication. And that's old school for me, because I believe in town hall meetings like they used to have. Because of my police background, I did community-oriented policing. I started and worked with community organizations and trying to get people to come out and meet one another and be more friendly and talk and pass information along and give ideas and share together.
Well, sharing ideas, I think, can be crucial. What are your ideas, for example, on the need for county representation on the Frankfort Plant Board? That's one issue that has come up recently.
Well, the Frankfort Plant Board is huge and runs this town. I think that would be a great asset to the county. I really do. That if somebody was to be, the Plant Board is involved in pretty much everything we do. So why not put a middleman there to, just like the Plant Board Cable 10 goes to fiscal court, why can't fiscal court go to the Plant Board and be on their board? I think that would be a great idea, to share different, dynamics of the government.
Another thing that's been in the news a lot lately is the development in the Capitol Plaza area where the convention center used to be. What are your thoughts on the development of that area? Should we replace the convention center? Should we have a multi-use facility there? Or should we find new ways of developing that area? And more importantly, do you have any thoughts on how we might do a cooperative effort of it and find funding for it? How do we pay for such a thing?
Yeah, I think we need something like that in Frankfort. I think it's going to be a great loss for having such a great facility that we had. All of our high school graduations were there. We had proms there, and it starts at the kid level. And I remember going to circuses there when I was a kid, and I think it's a huge loss. And I think that they should work with outside companies or even business people here locally, come up with an idea, because when you're bringing people here for graduation and you can't find a parking spot downtown because of that, look how many people came in from different counties. They're going to stop at our stores. They're going to stop at our restaurants. They're going to stop at the mom and pop shops, and it's going to keep Frankfort afloat. So I think that it needs to be done. I think that the city and the county should come together and work together and try to have a facility. Not necessarily, it didn't have to be as large as the one that we had, but we definitely need something, because now the high school kids are going to go to the horse park in Lexington. Then after graduation, they're going to go out to eat dinner with their families in Lexington. And it's taking away from our community.
The other thing that's been tops in the news lately has been the pension crisis. That will have a big impact on our county budget. Have you had an opportunity to look into that in any detail at all to see what kind of an effect you think it's going to have and how we might resolve dealing with those effects?
Okay, I can't give the answers in 30 minutes right now today with you, but I mean, it affects a lot of people. My dad's a retired school teacher and school principal, and I'm retired, so I draw a pension. I know lots of teachers, lots of state workers, and it took us years to develop this problem. And I think Governor Bevin is trying to address the problem, and I don't think it can be solved as quickly as they're trying to set a deadline. And I see the protests, and I hope whatever decision they make, it's not a rushed decision, because that's not what I do. I figure out the problem and try to solve the problem, seek help to solve the problem, and then stand firm in my decision. And I think if they rush into it, they're going to make a mistake. So I hope whatever team is doing this, I mean, it's not going to be an easy task, and I know it's impossible to please everyone, but I hope that it's fair for all the people that put their time in, that they deserve to get what they put in. And it's unfortunate if they don't.
It will take a big, dealing with the resolution of that crisis, however, will have an impact on the county budget. Do you know if there are any ways that you would feel comfortable in changing that budget to absorb the impact it's going to have?
I don't with the budget. I mean, that's the county judge's job to, I guess, monitor the budget, as well as a magistrate. I mean, they're going to sit on fiscal court, but I think that whatever's decided, I feel like a lot of people are going to end up retiring early, and then we're going to lose the qualified ones, and then we're going to end up with new people that are unfamiliar. And I really feel like the county and the city, because it's involving the city schools and everybody that works for the state in any form or fashion or retirement system. Again, I think the county and the state and the city and everybody should work together, because it's going to affect everybody in the community across the state. And not only Frankfort, it's the whole Commonwealth. Mm-hmm. So, again, I don't believe in, making rash decisions, and I don't feel like they should. Government moves very slowly, and I don't know why they're trying to rush and get everything done by July 1. I really don't understand that, because it took us 40 or 50 years to get in this situation. You can't resolve it in 1 year. It just didn't make any sense to me. And it's a very upsetting topic, to be honest with you.
What do you think we would be able to focus on as ways to develop our community, specifically in 2nd District, but countywide? What should we as citizens be looking at to improve our situation here?
Well, again, it goes back to the workers in the community, the small business owners to factories. We need to keep them full, because that's a huge tax for us. And I'm glad to see that all of our factories are rolling. They need to expand. If they want to expand, we need to support that to create more jobs. If the mom and pop shops, like Pick Pack, are in trouble, let somebody know about it. Put it out there, and the community came together. Now Sears across from Juniper Hills is closing. That's very upsetting, and I don't like to see the big box stores close. And if the community was to come together, support your own, keep the business local, expand like the Civic Center, or even something for our kids to do besides video games. Everybody goes to Lexington for the trampoline parks or fun parks. We need to have something like that in Frankfort.
Along the lines of that, that question that came to me, just totally out of the blue, and I'm still not sure where this came from, but I was asked to find out from the candidates what your stand is on expanded Sunday alcohol sales.
Wow. Well, again, I believe in supporting the mom and pop shops. Lots of people, they decide to make that decision that they're going to drink alcohol. It was my belief that Sunday was God's day and family time, so I don't see how alcohol is incorporated with family time or God's day. So I think that I can understand the business owners that are involved in that. But again, that's my personal belief that I don't agree with it, but if the people here are wanting that, they're going to take business elsewhere. So I guess it's a person's choice either way. If they really want it here and we don't have it, then they're going to go out of town. It's kind of a double-edged sword, because while they're out of town getting that, they might decide to go eat dinner, and so we've lost business in Frankfort. So my personal beliefs are different from others. So again, it's a choice.
Now, in a related instance of that, what is your stance on the Frankfort, Kentucky distilled branding campaign that they're using to promote the community, the tourism, the involvement? Do you think the county should also be using that branding campaign to draw people in?
Well, again, we're back to alcohol. So it's bringing in people for the tourism to our area, to Buffalo Trace, to Jim Beam, to Woodford Reserve in Versailles and Lawrenceburg. And we have a lot of distilleries here. It is bringing in people. And Kentucky and Frankfort's very historic. People want to come here anyway, I believe, whether we had distilleries or not. So this is an added bonus. If they're interested in that, it gives time for friends and family to get together from out of state. It does bring people here. They're going to shop. They're going to eat. They're going to stay in our hotels. So again, it's the personal choice. It is going to bring more revenue to Frankfort, which I think is good. And again, the county can work with them and try to bring more to help everyone.
We've gone, generally speaking, not in detail, but we've gone over a wide range of areas. Are there some issues that you want to address as a magistrate here that we've not brought into our discussion?
Yeah, in my district, I mean, there's a few things. if I was elected magistrate, we have a drainage problem. When God brings us the rain, it's unpredictable, and we can deal with it the best we can. I actually own a house that does get flooded periodically, and the county's tried to work with me for the past few years to help. We haven't solved the problem, and again, it affects me personally, and I'm patient, and that's how government is. It's slow, and I understand that. You got to coordinate everybody to work together as a team. That's what magistrates will do on fiscal court, and will abide by our leader, the county judge. I think the road maintenance does a wonderful job. The potholes are getting fixed, the snow and salt. I think our county road department does a great job. And I feel like in other districts, they may have the similar issues that we have. I think we need to work together and grow, is what I really believe that we need to do. As a magistrate in fiscal court, we need to listen to our community, be available for them, and make the right decision the first time.
It's really great that we've had a chance to sit down and talk and get to know you, as I said, as a person and as a candidate. Mm-hmm. So are there other issues you want to bring up? And you can look into this camera over here and tell our viewers what skills and talents you have to make you the best candidate for this position, and why they should vote for you on May 22nd.
Well, thank you very much. Again, my name's Rami Kalla. I'm running for 2nd District County Magistrate in Franklin County. And the way I was raised, with a very strict and disciplined family, I believe that my work ethic has proved itself. I've had multiple jobs and a public servant for many years. And I believe that I would be a good magistrate for you in your district and listen to your complaints. I am a small business owner and available 24 hours a day, because I get phone calls all the time for my business. And I would be available for you as I am for my children and my neighbors currently. If anybody that knows me and any neighbors of mine in Spring Hill could tell you that I would do a good job, and I'm very reliable. And I would appreciate the opportunity to serve you because I've been in your shoes on the receiving end, and I've seen the back of how government functions. And I feel like that I could make good decisions and listen to your concerns and address them with the court and resolve the problem the best way possible for the community.
And what name should they look for on that ballot?
Rami Kalla, and I'm ballot number 1.
There you go. We want to alert you again. Watch for the candidate forum on April 26th. Join us for the live coverage of the election returns. And to cast your ballot with great information, make sure you come back here for Meet the Candidates.